Alright, welcome back folks. So starting tomorrow, there will be a new marathon for the Borrasque, a premium tier 8 French medium tank that's basically a Batignolles 12T's hull with a EBR 105's turret. Sort of a medium tank, light tank hybrid, but it's supposed to be a light tank. Now, we already talked extensively about this vehicle from the Hidden Vehicles video on patch 1.7.1 that I already put out about a month ago, but since then, Wargaming has nerfed this vehicle in terms of about 400 DPM. So they increased the reload time, but it wasn't already that great to start out with. So back then I thought this tank was a 7 out of 10. It was okay-ish, but it was more of a light tank than a medium tank, and it suited better to the playstyles of the Batignolles 25T and the crew loadout of the Batignolles 25T, but it wasn't great at training crews for the AMX 30s, and the gun wasn't that accurate and takes super long to aim, so it was more of a flanking support medium. A light tank also, but it's better than the Batignolles 12T, I can guarantee that, but as for a medium, I don't know. They did nerf the DPM. So let's take a look again at the new stats, but we'll take a look at all the stuff again just to be sure if you want to spend your money. But spoiler alert, I wouldn't recommend you guys waste that much money or even time on this vehicle. It's no Carnarvon Action X, it's no SU 130 PM, so or EBR 75 for that matter, but yeah, it's okay from my point of view playing this game, and from the point of view of corridor maps and choke points, yeah, it's okay of a tank, it's not that great. So it is a premium, does make more credits and crew XP. It is a blueprint tank, a paper tank, but has a crew of 3, so it fits the crews of the Batignolles 25T and the light tanks, but it is a medium tank, so you do need a loader for the AMX 30s, and yeah, it's okay of a crew trainer, just don't get safe stowage trained mostly. But it has a 105 auto-loading round, 2-round clip gun. They nerfed the DPM from 2200 to 1800. That is huge, because the accuracy of this gun is not great. 0.42 base with 100% crew, that's 0.4, and 3.5 seconds of aim time base, that's 3.2 seconds or 3.3 seconds. 3.3 seconds of aim time. That is god awful for an auto-loading gun. Yeah, it's not supposed to be accurate, it's not supposed to be fast aiming, but that is just horrendous. It is 105mm and does clip out 720 alpha or burst in terms of alpha, but penetration is below average for a medium tank. It's good for a light tank, but a light tank is basically meant to scout rather than shooty. So yeah, the nerf of DPM dramatically hits this vehicle. Back then, a month ago, this thing has 2200 DPM. And when you think about it, that was actually pretty decent. It reloads every 15 seconds or so, and you could do this gun like a ISU 152's AP shell in terms of alpha every burst. So you can get people off guard and chunk a large proportion of their health with 2 rounds of the 105, but now it takes a lot longer to do that. So you cannot fit a rammer, you cannot fit anything to boost the DPM other than vents. So yeah, DPM on this thing sucks. It is an autoloader, but it's only 2-round burst, so you have to scout for your team, and this is a scouting medium. It's not a combat medium, it's not a sniping medium, it's a light tank basically. So yeah, gun wise, 6 degrees of gun depression, that's French for you. It's across all the board, so that's okay. It's not great, but you could be worse. And 13 elevation is god awful, so it's French autoloaders. Ugh, but the EBR turret is not a oscillating turret, so it should have a little bit more gun elevation, but it's only 13. Does turn pretty fast for the turret traverse, but everything else is just meh, whatever. Also, the alpha is not the fullest to the 105, so it's like the STB in terms of alpha, or like the Projecto, I think. But meh. It has a medium tank's health, average medium tank's health at tier 8, but no armor whatsoever. 40 at the front for the hull, 15 at the front for the turret. So basically a light tank's armor for a medium tank, and it's all green. So sloping, there's no sloping. It does not help. You will be pinned if you do get hit. And it's a small target-esque for a medium tank, but it's basically a light tank. So it's a large turret. If you get hit in the back of the turret, it's likely they will catch your ammo rack and your commander and stuff. But ugh. No armor whatsoever. It's a light tank, period. There's no sloping, there's nothing. So yeah, it's a light tank. It does have decent horsepower per ton ratio for a light tank, about 25 plus. So a light tank has great horsepower per ton ratio if it's above 30. A medium tank usually has about 20 horsepower per ton ratio, and that would be great. But for this vehicle, it's a pseudo light tank. It weighs only 12 tons. It's a Batchat 12T. So yeah, don't ram stuff. You do have decent mobility, and the terrain resistance, I can check from the actual tech tree, is 0.7 for hard, 0.8 for medium, and 1.4 for soft. That's actually pretty good for a medium tank. For a light tank, that's also decent, but you could go down to 0.5, 0.6, and 1. But that's not gonna happen with 25 horsepower per ton ratio. So it's actually pretty good. It will rev up faster than the ELC EBN. And that's a small light tank. That's a very, very small light tank. It won't rev up as fast as a car, obviously, but you're comparing the revving speed of a tank to a car. That's not gonna happen. Alright, so it turns at about 42 degrees per second and has a top speed of 62 kilometers per hour, reverse of 23. So it's a light tank in terms of mobility. It has pretty good concealment. Now, this concealment is actually better than some light tanks at the same tier, most noticeably the Batchat 12T. So obviously it's not going to have the same camo as a ELC EVN. That's ridiculous. So it's not close, but it does have better camo than the Batchat 12T for some reason, even though the turret is larger than the oscillating turret. Same hull though. So compared to the medium tank counterparts, yeah, it's better than the medium tank brethrens at tier 8. It's a light tank, so you have to rely on the camo and stuff, but it has better view range than the Batchat 12T because it's a medium, supposedly. So yeah, that's the stats, folks. We already talked a lot about this vehicle from the hidden vehicles video, but we usually cover the initial stats of all these tanks right when the patch hits on the test server, just so we have a initial understanding of the tanks. Now obviously Wargaming could change the tanks in the meantime. They could buff it to ridiculous levels or nerf it to the ground, but in this tank's case, they nerfed it from 2200 DPM to 1800, and I think that will make this tank feel more difficult to play. It is a flanking medium in the era of corridor maps, and if all the corridors are blocked off and stalemated, there's no way you flank around unless you get very creative or you have to snipe until some of the flank opens up. So it's not a sniping gun. It has no penetration for a sniping gun, no accuracy, no aim time. Don't even think about it. So the only way to take advantage of this tank is basically to scout and use the mobility. But also in the era of cars, it's not going to perform as well. So active scouting cars will automatically spot you when they're close enough and they just run away. And with this gun's accuracy, don't even think about it. So it will be a very difficult shot for you to counter scout, counter cars more likely, but I don't think this tank is worth First of all, it's only for the Batchat 25T's line in terms of crew training. You don't have a loader, so not the best of crew training for medium tanks, and it's low penetration in terms of alpha. So for the gun, don't expect to deal that much damage with the shafting of the DPM, and then with the garbage accuracy and aim time, and the penetration is also not as good. Don't expect to deal as much damage with this vehicle as any of the other mediums for tier 8. So as a premium tank, I don't expect this thing to make a lot of credits unless you shoot Gold Shell. Gold Shell is a 230 or 240 millimeter round APCR, I think. Both shells are APCR, so Gold Shell is 240 millimeters of pen. High explosive is high explosive, so normal high explosive, not plastic heads or squash heads. Oh yeah, this tank is not worth the money. I mean, the actual value of this tank is currently 8,500 gold, and that's slightly above average for a medium tank at tier 8. The good medium tanks at tier 8, like the Lancing C, it's only... oh, this thing costs only like 7,500 gold. And vehicles like the Super Pershing cost like 7,000 or even less. Where the hell is a Super Persh? But Super Persh is one of the most... it doesn't tell you the gold cost, but those are actually pretty cheap for a medium tank at tier 8. But what I'm trying to say is, the Marathon is not worth for this tank. It's not. The gun performance is just not good enough. It's good enough for a light tank, but it's not good enough for a medium. So this tank, in the era of clown cars, in the era of corridor maps, this tank is not that great for random battles. Now about frontline, you could run around pretty freely with this thing, but wouldn't you rather just drive a EBR 75 across the front lines? Or drive a, I don't know, a Lynx for that matter? So, I don't know. I mean, it is fast for a medium. It is basically a light tank, but in the end, it's not going to deal that much damage in terms of a brawl, and you don't have that much penetration to make sure both shots deal the alpha. So if you're faced up against a T-54 prototype, model 1945, yeah, you're going to get chewed out with a T-54 unless you run away. Or if you're faced off against even a T-44-100, you'll get chewed out. So any of the combat mediums will likely have a better time brawling against this thing, but it is a hit and run tactic tank, so you have to utilize the distractions by your teammates to flank around and shoot opponents in the rear or in the side armor, but yeah, it's not worth the money. So ending rating for this tank, I will give it like a 6.5 out of 10, 6 out of 10, mostly because the nerf to the DPM. 2200 DPM is actually not bad for a auto-loading gun in terms of burst, but now it's just god-awful across the board, other than the turret traverse for the firepower. Yeah, oh my gosh. So, I mean, it's like the EBR 105 in terms of the 105mm, but it has autoloader compared to the tier 10 version. How much pin? Yeah, it's the same pin, but the tier 10 has the alpha over this tank and aim time, obviously, but both tanks have garbage accuracy. This vehicle do have the autoloader, whereas the EBR 105 doesn't. Okay, still, it's a piece of shit clown car. It drives it. The practical thing about this thing is the speed. This thing doesn't have nearly enough speed to compare, so it's a medium tank in essence. It's a faulty light tank. But there you go, folks. The Borrasque, basically Batchat 12T with an EBR 105's turret. Don't know where the Bourrasque came from. It's a weird name, but I don't know. But yeah, 6 out of 10, 6.5 out of 10. It's okay. It's under average, so it's a bomb. It's okay. It's not that great, but there you go, folks. Thank you guys for watching this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you learned something about the Borrasque. I don't think it's worth it, but it's up to you. It's your wallet. It's your money. So good luck to you. But if you earn other stuff for the marathon, like the credits, like the consumables, that's still good, right? You don't have to buy this tank. But what I'm looking forward to in terms of premium tank sale is within the next 3 days, we have the return of the Object 252U. And you already know how fucking broken that thing is. I mean, they do sell it once per year around the end of February, but this thing is fucking broken. What the hell is it? Yeah, this thing is fucking broken. A tier 9, even tier 10's armor on a tier 8 heavy tank. That's against like tier 6's. How the hell do you pin this thing with a tier 6 heavy tank? Tank destroyer, they can't even pin this thing with a tier 6. Jesus. Tier 6 penetration usually is about 170 millimeters of pin for a 90 millimeter gun. This thing will just eat you alive. So for premium tank sales, I recommend this if you have the money. Not the Bourrasque, not even close. So it is a light tank, but there you go, folks. So thank you guys for watching again. But I'll post the link to the forum page, comparison of all the stats and all the stuff. But 6 out of 10, 6.5, 6.25 out of 10. Let's meet halfway. But thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
「ループして落ち込んで」